Testing, testing. That's what I do. That's what I do to make sure, and that's what anyone would do to make sure their mic is working, and that's normal. Welcome back. Um, Welcome back to the SBC. I'm not turning away from you. SBC Podcast, and we're here. You're here. We're here. Hopefully, we're two straight individuals. If you're a girl, it doesn't matter. But I know I am. I suffer from bad back injury or injury caused by car accident, not gay sexual activity. And that's I guess normal, but it's normal for me. Can't change it. But we're managing. We're hurting. We're managing. We're doing all the drugs in the book, which is cool because it gives me an excuse to be a junkie with having an excuse. Woo. So picked up some Takis, the hot chips, the hot corn. I just turned Wisconsin on y'all, and that's, I don't know anyone from Wisconsin actually, so I don't know why. Corn as in growing in a field corn, or as in corn on the cob corn tortilla chip, hot. But anyways, that brings us to our sponsor, Takis. And that was a promo. If you are feeling like you need to drink more water, get a bag of Takis. You'll be drinking out of your mama's titty after you have Takis. And that's what they told me to say. And that's the end of our sponsorship. But anyways, what do we have? People make mistakes. People make mistakes in life, and other people don't. And if you don't, you're probably dead because people make mistakes. And that's okay. What? Did you want something? Yep, you wanted some Takis, and that goes back to our sponsorship, Takis. Don't mix with Tito's. I don't know who would do that, but anyways, you know what I've always thought? Baby swim school. Swim school for babies, and some babies get to do it real early. They do the underwater seaboard, sea missile or whatever they call it, where they shoot out of the, where a mom hangs out in a jacuzzi, with a bath bomb or something, and their baby comes out smelling um, like glistening champagne or whatever the flavor, whatever the flavor of the bath bomb is, and I don't know. A lot of people are creative, and I don't know who came up with that. I think the term for what is it? Underwater abortion? No, that's not what it's called. Underwater birth or whatever. Some people call it submarine. Some people call it Navy battleship, missile launch, or whatever. And yeah, but that's, some people get to start early. I'm sure Michael Phelps was born like that because he swims, and that's how it usually starts. Not a lot of people just get into swimming, because and it's funny because everyone should. Swimming should be a bigger thing because, hmm, what is it? Our Earth is made of um, mostly water. I don't know any numbers. I'm not an autistic number guy or whatever they call them. I got the low end of the totem pole. But I am tan and my teeth are white. It's like, hey, what do you got? What do you got, brother? I got white teeth. And they'll be like, oh, clean, clean. That's that white gold. That's that white. And I'm like, nah, I don't. Nah, I'm good. I'll just have, you know, 3 grams or whatever, and then I'll be on my way. But, yeah, the whole baby swim school stuff, they'll just, honestly, I think we're just weeding out the weak ones before they grow up, and that makes sense. Most of the babies they teach to swim, they'll just throw them in a water from a 4-foot cliff or 3-story building into a pool, and they just treat them like a chicken wing, like a buffalo chicken wing, and they're dipping it in ranch and stuff. This is a human being we're talking about, and um, it's like, oh, will they naturally know how to float? Well, yeah, a baby's not. A baby. I'd assume a baby is mostly dense bone or hollow bone, and you know, because we're mostly made up of water. We're avatars or whatever we are, and humans are made up of water content, water cells, water. Water from Slum God. That's why he says that in every intro to song, because he knows we are made out of water. And that's very creative of him, but also very true. Um, and so, yeah, they'll just throw babies in there, and I assume if they didn't make it, I mean, I don't agree with it. I wouldn't do that to my kid. I would personally teach him in a tub first. I'll teach him the backstroke. I'll teach him a butterfly stroke. I'll teach him a breast stroke. As he's on his mama's breast, he will be doing strokes. And that's good parenting. And honestly, I think that is illegal. I think it's illegal to talk about, so we're going to shy away from the conversation and get away from it ultimately. Ultimately, or well, making a few adjustments. I should have done this before I started. What am I doing? Welcome back. No, we're past that. I'm sorry. But yeah, um, and honestly, it's crazy to say, or it could be crazy to say, where it's normal. But Jewish people, they're out there. They're they're pronounced to the world, money saving people, or just someone that owns a building. Jewish people, Jews, people call them or reference them. I don't. Um, but I had a theory because I've seen, and stick with me here. I've seen Amish people, and I've also seen Jewish people, and you can't, honestly, you can't convince me that Amish people are just cheaper, like the cheapest, or the original Jewish people. It's like African versus African American, Jewish versus Jamish. It's probably what they used to be called, and they're like, let's switch that J to an A. We'll be Amish, not Jamish. And that's okay. They wear similar clothing. They have similar, you know, stuff or whatever. It's like Jewish people are the government of Amish. Honestly, I was thinking about it, and I could, and I will, and I could, and I might, but thanks to you know, and it's not fully my idea, but it's an idea that sparked into a notion, if I use that right. Um, we could start um, making bingo cards. Bingo cards, and if you get, bingo cards. Send in suggestions. Bingo cards for the idea of, oh, bingo, he ate booty 3 times on the podcast today, or he's not gay. That's a bingo, and I was thinking about that. You could win stuff like a normal bingo game would go. You win stuff. If you win bingo, you win money. Here, probably merch, but I don't have anything. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't have anything yet, and probably start. I'd have to start when I get enough consistent views. I'm sorry. Kind of tapping out here. That brings us back to our sponsor, Talkies. So these bitches will wake you up. You guys smell that? What can I say? They're fuego. That was so gay. I'm sorry, but I'm not gay. But I shouldn't have said that. To be honest with y'all, if I ever went to prison, I still wouldn't be gay. I wouldn't. I couldn't. I wouldn't do it. And most people are like, well, that's what prison is. I didn't say that. I've been told that shit. And I'm like, nah, I don't agree with y'all. That's not gay to go to prison. And it's like, oh yeah, but everyone's so hard in prison. And I'm like, well, I don't know if you're taking that in the right context, honestly, dude. Maybe we should just say tough, And then they'll even flip that. It's like and it's the people. It's the people that perceive prison to be gay. They're probably gay themselves. And they're hoping, they're trying to get the facts right before they make their decision to go to prison, to commit a crime, because it's probably hard to find a partner out here as even a straight man. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I know some people don't, but it's not. Um, yep, I would do it. I would do it. I would do it. I would do. Now I don't know. They might have. I mean, I don't know. I've always fit into. You know what? I'm not gonna say that. Um, yeah. I've been accused of murder and so. No, I'm just kidding. I all of a sudden I'm tired, and that brings us to our next sponsor. We don't have a bottle because they wouldn't send it. NyQuil. NyQuil. If you're tired, take NyQuil. That's all they're gonna get because they didn't send a bottle. So screw them. Um, and then that brings us to our next sponsor, cocaine. If you want to take a chance and see if there's fentanyl and possibly not be anymore, try cocaine. Cocaine. How does it go? What do the commercials do? They go, I don't remember. Yeah. This is sponsored by cocaine. They'll talk so fast you can't hear them. And that's on purpose because they'll mention a few things about death. They'll mention a few things about how they, screwed your mom or something. It's just, and it gets all fucking sketchy and shit. Those commercials, they suck. And I don't like them. And it's like, what the fuck is my mom? What does my mom have to do with Ozempic? Or what does my mom have to do with um, Clydopin or whatever the fuck they're selling online? Or TV, whatever. Da 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 da. Yada yada yada. You know what I mean? Johnson and Johnson. It's like, oh, Johnson and Johnson vaccine, we fucked your mom. It's like, what? What? Hold on, back up. Let's go ahead and reverse that. It's just like it's one of those commercials where you can't reverse, and it's like, whoa, what? What are you talking about? And honestly, I wouldn't care. Um, if they really want to go at it, it's like your girlfriend, and you don't hear that a lot. It's like, your mom was in my DMs. Oh, I slept with your mom. It's like, what? Why would I be jealous of it? Like, what? Huh? You know, it's weird to me that people get jealous over that stuff because it's like, are you sleeping with your mom or something? Like, what? What are you? Why are you so mad? Um, it's like, oh, you know, but it makes sense. It makes sense why they say mom and not girlfriend, or because first of all, nowadays you can't assume someone's gender. That is probably going to be illegal when Trump gets out of office. Second, um, not a lot of people have girlfriends, and that's their problem. And nothing wrong with it. It's okay. And I know I'm not gay, and I know my teeth are white, and I know I'm here, I know I'm there, but I know where I'm not hanging out with dudes. So ah, it's for the sponsor. No reaction. Those fucking retarded kid. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that. Let's let moment of silence for, you know, the people I offended. All right, that's all you get. But anyways, you see those kids on TikTok and stuff. It's like they'll eat a jalapeno or they'll fucking lick their dog's ass or something. I'd be like, no reaction, no. But the whole time they have a reaction. It's like, what the fuck, dude? Get a life, kid. Get a fucking job. Do something with it. Anyways, it's like, how far is this gonna go? Slap my mom, no reaction. And it's like, oh, grab my sister's tits, no reaction. What the fuck is wrong with people? To me, it's like, what the fuck is wrong? And I don't mean to cuss or anything, but what the F bomb, or I'm not gonna say fuck. I'm gonna say fuck. I'm not gay. Um, it's funny because gay people are really fit, and honestly, I have a theory about that, and it's a vulgar theory, but um, you know, they got extra protein. In the back door area, they got extra protein just stored up, and it absorbs. You know, and that's probably why. Yeah, and a while ago, a long time ago, I'd say when I was 20 or so, and I was at the gym, and this gay guy walks by. Oh, he's like, "Are you done with your set?" And I was like, "Yeah." As long as you stop talking to me and stuff, and he's just like, "Oh yeah, I'm just here drinking my cum shake." What the fuck? You're so gay, dude. Get the fuck away from me, dude. Really. And I think they should have. Well, this. I'm gonna say this is a joke before we do this one. So if you don't like gay jokes, then get out of here. Well, jokes about gay people. I think we should split up. If they're eventually when I get back to the gym, if they should have a gay side and then a straight side. They should have the gay side with all the glute workouts and thrusters, or and BJ machine or whatever they fucking have, and just stay on that side. But there should be like a fucking curtain to where no one can see anything, and it's just like it'll just turn into a gay strip club. Let's be honest. So they do have gyms for gays, gay strip club. And if you took offense to that, maybe you shouldn't be here. Sorry, but I do love everyone. Do appreciate everyone's time. Um, I'm here for everyone, honestly. I'm here for everyone. I'm here in hopes that everyone keeps following their dreams, and even if they want to quit their job or think everything's hard, just to stick with it until the end. I mean, you don't have to work there for the rest of your life, but stick it out. Every day has a new positive outlook. So I'm personally myself, I'm trying to do better at being positive, seeing the positive in each day alone. But